Hey friends, I got a new dilemma that's been on my mind for a few years. Figured I might as well discuss it here and see what you all think. Help me come to terms with it. We're not going to dick around. We're just going to jump right into it. It has to do with same, and same different. So when you buy an Apple Watch, for example, your really only choice is between color and size. Functionality and processor and memory and all that stuff is all identical. And nobody has any problem with it. No one's put any concern into it. No one has any questions about it. You know what you get when you go to the store. You say, I want the big one and I want it in this color, and then that's it. But a few years ago, when you bought laptops, for example, you had to choose if you wanted to have the 13-inch MacBook Pro, for example, or the 15-inch Brick of Obligation MacBook Pro. And the differences between them were, in the Intel days, you got a dual-core integrated graphic 13-incher, or you got a quad-core dedicated graphics 15-incher. And you couldn't get quad-core dedicated graphics on the 13-inch. It just wasn't made. So you were forced into either carrying a smaller laptop with lesser capabilities or a bigger laptop that was heavier than maybe what you would have preferred. Subsequently, with the iPods, for example, rest in peace, the click wheel versions of the iPod, the iPod mini, and the iPod Nano were all effectively the same. The click wheel software was identical in every model. And again, you really only chose between colors and size. Let's ignore the cost of storage and RAM in this scenario, because that's not really what we're talking about here. When you look at the laptop situation, Apple's kind of changed that up again with these new 14 and 16 inchers in that you can configure them effectively identically. I know the 16 inch has got some better cooling and a battery issue, but that's not what we're talking about here, okay? What we're talking about is the fact that you can configure them identically, and really you only have to choose is size and color. And I think that's really cool. I like that. I think that's the right way they should have done it. But then go to the iPhone, because this is really where this whole conversation is headed. The old iPhone, say I guess it was with the 4, you really could only get white or black. That was your choice. They brought out the 5, and if you chose to upgrade to the iPhone 5, what'd you get? You got an extra row of icons, which I know some of you were thinking BFG, but you know what? At the time, it really was. Bigger screen. Yay. But then they brought out the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, and that really changed the game. And what did you get for that? Well, if you got the iPhone 6, you got all the new cool stuff, body, shape, camera, and so forth. But if you put up the money for the Plus size, what'd you get? You got a better camera, you got a better software keyboard and landscape, and you got all those other landscape goodies. Whether you like it or not doesn't matter. Okay? What matters is that it was available. It was a feature. It was something that you got for buying that bigger phone and lugging it around every day. The extra keys on the software keyboard were something I found to be exceptionally useful. The better camera with optical image stabilization, of course a better battery, the landscape view in contacts and calendars and mail, all of that added up to justification for the bigger size that you had to carry around. But when they brought out the XS and XS Max, Apple flipped back again. Effectively, both phones were identical except for size. And I ended up going back to the smaller phone because I could carry the smaller XS and still get all the features of the big brother, which I tried first. And I thought that was perfect. That was exactly what I wanted. I didn't have to give up anything in order to carry around the smaller phone. But Apple flipped all that around on its head again when they brought out the 12 line. Because what did you get there? Well, okay, you got the phone, you got the 12 and the 12 mini, which came with a wide-angle lens and what I call the normal lens. But I don't want the wide lens. I want a normal lens and a zoom lens. But okay, if I want that, then I have to step up to the triple camera Pro line. And now I get the wide, normal, and zoom. Okay. But if I want to get the best camera that was available, you have to get the 12 Pro Max. And again, now they've differentiated the Pro and the Pro Max as being two different things. You get more with the bigger phone. I didn't necessarily want the bigger phone, but I ended up getting it because I wanted the better camera. Anyway, then what happened then is Apple brought out the 13 line, and they flipped the coin on its head again, because now the 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max are identical. Now you get the same camera and the same feature set in both phones and both sizes, and this constant back and forth is driving me crazy. My question to you is, which one is the right decision? Is it better to have the bigger device that costs more and has more features justifying it, like the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus? Or is it better to have them be different sizes but the same, and really that gives you as the customer the choice to decide which one you want to carry around, but you don't lose anything based on that decision, such as the Apple Watch or the new MacBook Pros and the 14 and 16 inch sizes. But I'll add one more piece of confusion to this, and that's the iPad line. because the iPad line ranges from the mini all the way up to the 12.9-inch Pro. And here, I'm actually kind of annoyed on how similar they've all become. One of the selling features of the iPad Pro was the fact that it had the pencil support and the keyboard support. And yes, it still has a better screen and better battery and better speakers, blah, blah, blah. But the big selling point there was the keyboard and the pencil. Now, even the $300 iPad has a keyboard and pencil. They all have keyboards and pencils. It's diluting the specialness of these products, and it makes it really hard for you to decide which one is the right one, which one is quote unquote better. Unless you're a total tech geek, it drives me crazy. It's really, really hard to say why the 11-inch Pro is better than the 11-inch Air, for example, the newest versions. Additionally, they're fucking it up with software, because just like on the Pro Max phones, why can't I have two Safari windows on that big screen? I've got the screen, let me use it. But no, the Pro Max iPhone and the iPhone mini show the exact same number of icons, same exact amount of screen real estate. It's no longer like the iPhone 6, 6S, and 6 Plus, and 6S Plus, and so on, where the bigger phone actually gave you more. Now, the phones are identical. Same with the iPad. The iPad mini shows you the exact same screen as a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and that doesn't make any sense to me. So herein lies the confusion. I would like the devices, for example, like the iPhones, I would like them to be identical in hardware, but differentiated in software. And maybe that's the best compromise. Give me the power of the iPad Pro in an iPad mini format, but obviously the 12.9 iPad should have more icons on its screen than the mini. If I choose to carry around a Pro Max phone, then give me an extra row of icons as a reward for doing so, but don't put a lesser camera on the smaller phone. Anyway, I know there's a ton of points I've been trying to make with this. I probably missed a dozen things that I really meant to say, but sometimes you just gotta say, fuck this, I need to get this thing done, and it's been too long already. Please let me know what you think. Always interested to hear other people's experiences and opinions. Which is it? Big, small, same, or same, different? Thanks for watching.